Right, we move on to the topic called simultaneous equations. This is the biggest section in algebra because it is the section in amamaka maningi, phakathi kuka 5 no 8 marks, depending on that examination. This particular one is 7 marks. Ake sisibone ukuthi senza kanjani. Isikhathi esiningi lapho sikunikezwa ama-equations awu-2 kuthiwa solve kanye kanye. Akulula ukusebenzisa le yodwa to solve u-x kanye no-y because ngama-unknowns awu-2. The idea behind this topic is to change the other one, express ngenye indlela ukuze ube ne-unknown a1 kuphela. Awu-2. Indlela yokwenza, step number 1, siyanime. So ibizela nge-equation yokuqala, sibizele nge-equation yesibili. So whenever I push this, I will know that I'm talking about equation 1. What does this mean? It simply means equation 2. So I've got two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. This is 1, this is 2. The next step that we need to do then is to find equation 3. Equation 3 usiza ukuthi abulale or it's either ubulala u-x noma ubulala u-y. I guess you look at these two equations, ubheke ukuthi yiphi ezoba lula phakathi kwe-equation 1 no equation 2 ukusebenza ngayo. Ngokubuka kwami, this one looks complicated. Therefore you leave it. Ngoba kwi-mathematics zama ukwenza izinto zibe lula. We are not here to complicate izinto. Now it will be easier to work with this one. Now uzama uku-expressa kodwa ke subject of the formula. It's either ngenza u-x abe yedwa noma ngenza u-y ame yedwa. Now kulokhu kokubili futhi ubheka okulula uyeke lokho okunzima because sifuna uku-simplify i-mathematics yethu. Now into ezoba lula ukuyenza i-subject phakathi kwa-x no-y in this particular case, it is x. Ngamshiya u-x la u-y ehambe yengale. Y1 kungelula ukumenza i-subject ngoba usahlangane no-3. Mangithi ngizama ukushiya u-y yedwa ngizophinde ngisuse nalo 3. Therefore kulula ukusebenza ngokuthi sithi u-x is subject of the formula. Let's do that. Uma sizoba no x is equals to, you take this y this side, uzoba positive 3y, ahlangane nalo 1, abe plus 1. Lena ke equation yethu yesithathu esesinayo. Khumbula ukuthi siyithole kephi le equation yesithathu iqhamuka from equation yokuqala. Sesisebenzisile le equation kodwa le singakayisebenzisi. Okusho ukuthi le sesiyohamba soyifaka kule singakayisebenzisi, which is equation 2. Step esilandelayo kusho ukuthi we are going to substitute equation 3, this simply means equation 3, into equation 2. This simply means equation 2. This is what we need to do, just this. Take equation, substitute equation 3 into equation 2. Yini now equation 3. Equation 3 uthi la khona khona x ngingafaka u3y plus 1 ngoba ithi lento x uyafana nalokho. It is equal. Now, ake sibheke equation 2 yet. Ake sibhale phansi khona izoba lula. I'm writing equation 2. I've got x squared, x squared minus 2xy plus 9y squared is equals to 70. It still has a problem. Ngoba nginama unknowns awu-2. Inhloso la ukubulala it's either u-x noma sibulala u-y ukuze sibe nento efanayo bese siyakwazi ukuyisolve i-problem yethu. But still la u-x singamenza ubani u3y plus 1. Okusho ukuthi la khona khona u-x sifaka bani u3y plus 1. Usebenzisa amehlo akho, they are the most powerful tool ku-mathematics akho, amehlo. La khona khona u-x ufaka bani u3y plus 1. Mangiyibheka le equation yami, u-x baseyindaweni ey'ngako x bam. O-x bam baseyindaweni eziwu-2, I can see u-x la, ngiyawubona futhi u-x. Angiyicabangi lento, angiyitadishi, ngivula amehlo nje. Nangu x useyindaweni ezimbili. Okusho ukuthi lo 3y plus 1 ngizowufaka la, ngiphinde ngiwufaka la. Ilokho kuphela esikwenzayo in this particular problem. Hayi okunye. Ake senzeni. La khona ku-x sifaka u3y plus 1. This is 3y plus 1. Umele u-x lo. But lo x wami unjani? U-squared. I push a 2 there. Remember this. This is 2 times x times y. I can also write this as 2 times y. 2 times y. Then bese ngifaka u-x ukuze impilo yami ibe lula. Now u-x wami uba u3y plus 1. U3y plus 1. Usakhona omunye u-x akasekho. So we are done with that one. Sesoqhubeka sithi plus 9y squared. Ngoba we are dealing with question 1. Sikhumbule ukuthi question 1 we want to put everything in this form. Ax squared plus bx plus c. We are dealing with algebra here. Now I know that I've got to take this one this side. Because I know 0 on the right hand side. This 0 is very important. You should always have 0 on that other side. So this one will go this side. It's going to be minus 17 equals to nothing, 0. All right, let's break these brackets. Remember how to do this one. If you go back to your calculus, we know that if I've got x plus h all squared. I know how to deal with this. I say x times x, it is x squared. X times h, xh, double that, it is plus 2xh. Then h times h is plus h squared. Whenever we're squaring a binomial, it is very easy to do it like this. At this level, we don't expect learners to break, to say x plus h into x plus h. This, you were doing this while you were doing grade 8, grade 9 to make life easier for us. Now, we are not tested on this. We are tested on simultaneous equations. So we know how to deal with this one. So we say 3y times 3. You multiply the first term by the first term. You write your answer. That's step number 1. Step number 2, you multiply the first term by the second term. Then you double that answer. You write it down. Number 3, you multiply the second term by the second term. This is the first term. This is the second term. Let's do the same. 3y times 3y. It's not 6y, but it is 9y squared. The mistake that we tend to make as learners is to say 3 times 3 and we say it's 6. You multiply 3 by itself twice. You are not adding it. Right. 3y plus 1, it's 3y. Double that, it will give us plus 6y. Then the last step, it's 1 times 1, which will give us 1. Then we're done with this part. We need to go and break these other brackets now. Let us break this bracket now. Let's do this thing. Minus 2y times 3y, it's going to give us minus 6y squared. Minus 2y times 1, what is this going to give us? It's going to give us minus 2y. We add this, plus 9y squared. We subtract the 17, then we'll get 0. Remember, we're trying to go to this part where we have our equation in this form, in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Then we factorize after that. But if we can't find factors, we will have to use the quadratic formula. But in most cases, 99.9%, you'll find the problem that will have factors in this particular case. We look for the like terms. Ubheka izinto ezifanayo nje. Okuno squared ubeka ndawonye. Nangu squared ngiyawubona la, akekho la, akekho la, ukhona la, akekho la, ukhona la, akekho la. So all the squares, I've just underlined them. So that's the one that I'm going to deal with. All right. Bangaki labo y squared bawu 9. Sino y squared abawu 9. Sisusa abangaki? Sisusa abawu 6. Sala bangaki? Abawu 3. Bawu 9 sisu y squared abawu 6. Sala bangaki? Abawu 3. Bani? Y squared. Sele abawu 3. Sibahlanganisa nabawu 9. Sino y squared abawu 3 sibahlanganisa abawu 9 kuma bangaki? Abawu 12. So sino abawu 12 y squared. Sasiqedile ngo squared. Now it helps to tick these squares so that we avoid mistakes. This is the part where learners usually make mistakes. As well avoiding at that particular stage. Squared, y manje. I will underline them on top. Y ngizoba underline ngaphezulu. Nangu y. Sesisebenzisa squared. Nangu munye y. Right. We've got only 2 y's. How many y's do we have this side? Sino y about 6. Sinabangako y la. Sinabao 2. About 6 sisusa about 2. Sala bangaki? About 4. So y still nabo la about 4. Remember y la besikhuluma ngabo. Sesiqedile manje ngo y squared nango y. Sekusela ama constant, the actual values now. Sesibheka lokho kunga-underliwe either ngaphezulu noma ngaphansi. Sesisebenza ngakho ke manje. Ak-underliwe which is 1. Ak-underliwe which is minus 17. These two will give us minus 16. Minus 16 is equals to 0. I'm glad that we've done a problem like this, because it is important that once we have it in this form, we factorize. Ax squared plus bx plus c. We can see that this is a, this is b, and that is c. You can see which a ubani, a in this case u12, b u4, c minus 16. Then we factorize. Remember, before we factorize, we've got to look for a common factor. That is the first step we do when we factorize. You look for it, you look for it. You check if number corner la, nala, nala, noma a variable for that matter. In number corner la, nala, nala, 4. So all these numbers we divide by 4. Remember, esikwenza ngapha siyakwenza nangala. If times are 4 ngala, nangale siyo times are 4. Because we want to keep this in balance, equal. This is equal to this one. So we divide this by 4, we divide that by 4, we divide that by 4, we also divide that by 4. So that it's a balance and do it. So this divided by 4, 4 yanga go 12, 4, 8, 12, yaga 3. So it's 3y squared. 4 yanga go 4, this is, will give us y minus 4 go 16, we have 4. 4 yanga go 0 again, 0 again. So this one is simplified now. So our problem, our trinomial is simplified. After this, what do? We can open 2 sets of brackets. equal to 0. Factors of 3y, it's 3y squared, it's 3y and y. All right, let's look for factors of 4 that will give us 1. Factors of 4 that will give us 1. We use a trial and error method. I know that to 4, ama-factors are 4 times 1, amanye 2 times 2. Uma engaphumi lawa, I will use this one. If ngifaka 4 la, ngifaka 1 lapha engaphumi, I've got to swap them around. Ngibeka 1 ngala, ngibeka 4 ngala. So let's do that. Let's start with 4, then go to 2. If I have, for example, 4 here and 1, let's check it out. 3 times this, it's 3y squared. 3 times 1, kusinikeza 3y low, 3y. Then 4 times y, kusinikeza 4y. Sifuna ukuthola about middle term. We want to get something that is positive 1. Can we get positive 1 out of this? Yes, we can get positive 1. If 4 is positive and 3 is negative, it will give us positive y. 1y. We don't usually write this one, but we know that it is 1y. What is it saying to us? La ngithola khona u4 kufanele kube plus, la ngithola khona u3 kumele kube negative. As-check ukuthi ngithole u4. 3y times 1, 3y. That should be negative. So kuzoba negative mang multiply lezi zinto zombili. But 4 times y kufanele be positive. So it will be positive, so that the middle term will be positive. Now that we've got it in this form, our life will be easy. We can go straight to the answer. What is the solution here? Y will then be equal to, you take 4 that side, it's going to be minus 4 divided by 3, this 3. Or y is equals to, or in this case, it will be equals to 1. I do have the values of y. Remember the question wants me to find both values of x and y. So we do have the 2 values of y. Now we need to find the 2 corresponding values of x. Right, now we've got y, we've got to find our x now. I go back to my equations, to my first 3 equations, 1, 2, 3. Remember now, we've got the values of y, sesishoda ngo-x. Uma sifuna u-x, ngiyawubheka lama equations omathathu. Ngibheke ezokwenza impilo yami ibe lula. Ngifuna u-x, hayi u-y anymore. Uma ngibheka la, yiphi izoba lula ukusebenzisa u-x. La uma ngithi ngifuna u-x la, kusazofanele ngithathe le nto ngiyise ngale. La ixovene, it's complicated. But let's see it's x is equal to something. So this is the one that I'm going to use because yeah, simpler this one. Remember, you know, x ababili ngibafunani. So I'm going to write this twice. X is equals to 3y plus 1. Oh, x is equals to 3y plus 1. Why am I writing 2? Because I've got 2 values of y. So I'm going to get 2 values, 2 corresponding values of x. Now, remember, I will be getting ordered pairs. X is equals to 3. What is the value of y? The first y that we got was minus 4 over 3. Instead of y, we push that value minus 4 over 3. Then you continue there plus 1. Or x is equals to, we've just used the first value of y. Sekufale sebenzise lo y wesibili manje. So la khona khona y besofaka bani? 1. Ngoba y uyalingana no 1. That's what we're doing. 3 into 1. Then plus 1. I work it out. X then becomes, let's simplify this thing. Mathematics is simple, especially simplifying. This 3 cancels out with this 3. Usalu minus 4 plus 1. Minus 4 plus 1 will give us minus 3. Or x is equals to 3 times 1. It will give us 3. 3 plus 1. Even the first year, let's come out grade 12. Ma ropo first year wakuba nenkinga. 3 times 1, it's 3. Plus 1, it will give us 4. Now we've got both values of y and values of x. Then you conclude. In other words, we write our solution set in terms of x and y. We're going to write it in this form. We'll put the x coordinate, then the y coordinate. They are equal to. Let's make sure that you copy them correctly from what we've already found. Look here. What is the value of x that we got? The value of x that we got here was minus 3. What was the corresponding y value? The corresponding y value is minus 4 over 3. Let's write it. It's minus 4 over 3. And the second one, what was the value of x there? The value of x in this case, it is 4. 4 goes together with this 1. The corresponding y values was 1. So this is what we call our solution. This will make us to get the maximum 7 marks. Thank you.